Originally, my concentration is power. I used to teach fluid mechanics, thermodynamics, heat transfer, all related topics to mechanical power engineering. Just about يمكن 15, 16 years ago, I started to switch somehow to mix between power concentration and sustainable development. And right now, all my research directed toward sustainable development.
طيب حضرتك اتكلمنا يعني بريفلي كده عن الجيرني بتاعت حضرتك من اول ما كنت undergraduate student في هندسة لحد النهارده.
That's a long trip. I was undergraduate at Ain Shams University. I graduated from Ain Shams University in 1972. And then I decided to get enrolled in the master's program. Then I finished my master's degree in 1976 from Ain Shams University. And then I went to the United States in 1978. We decided to work in the area of fluid mechanics. And I did all my research and some of my teaching in the United States in Washington State University in the area of fluid mechanics. And then after that, I finished my PhD and then I moved to Idaho State University. And I work as assistant professor in the area of thermofluids. And then I decided to return back to Egypt. When I returned back to Egypt, I went to Ain Shams University as an assistant professor. I worked there for 5 years. During these 5 years, I was, part-timer here at AUC and also at Ain Shams University. I used to teach some of the labs here at AUC from 1983 until 1987. And then in 1987, I applied here at AUC as a full-timer and I was accepted. And since 1987, I work as a full-time professor at AUC. And I just resigned from Ain Shams University.
طيب حضرتك you received the award for excellence in research and creative endeavors 2009 لو انا صح يعني.
Exactly.
طيب حضرتك كلمنا اكتر عن الاورد دي والريسيرش اللي حضرتك خدت عليه الاورد ده، هل كان sustainable development؟
Yes.
كان ايه بالظبط؟
Yeah, mainly I work in sustainable development. I have two major fields: waste management and green buildings and green communities. Waste management, some people might consider it as solid waste management. I always say it is both. It is solid waste management and liquid waste management. Now, when I say solid waste management, I work with industrial waste, with agricultural waste, with municipal waste, with hazardous waste, with clinical waste. And when I say industrial wastewater, I work with both the municipal liquid waste, which is sewage, and gray water, which is the water collected from the sinks and the shower, and also with the industrial liquid waste. This is the area under the waste management. And I did a lot of work in both areas. And just about, 8-9 years ago, I tried to add one more area, which is related to green community and green buildings, because this is the future, to have our community green and our buildings green, because this will save a huge amount of water, up to 50%, maybe 60%. It can save the energy up to 40-50%. It can save a lot of materials over and above improving the indoor environmental quality and improving the outdoor environmental quality. And this is mainly my main focus these days.
Okay. طيب زي ما كنت حضرتك احنا يعني مهتمين بالريسيرش اكسبيرينسز، واز undergraduates احنا مهتمين يعني الايرلي ريسيرش اكسبيرينس. يعني حضرتك تكلمنا عن your first research experience، وهل كان في research experience as an undergrad ولا بدأت research as a grad؟ التوبيك كانت عن ايه وايه اللي حضرتك اتعلمته منها؟
What do you mean by early?
يعني first research experience.
A long time ago?
A
long time ago? Mainly was in the area of fluid mechanics, especially in the area of fluid mechanics and renewable energy. This was my early research experience. I did a lot of work in two-phase flow and also in the renewable energy, especially solar energy. And then I tried to move into the solar energy, especially solar water heaters, solar dryers. I integrated something called heat pipe in the solar energy systems because heat pipes has a much higher thermal conductivity than any materials. And therefore I integrated the concept of heat pipes with the solar water heaters, with solar dryers, hoping to have some kind of a commercial unit, not for me, but for the surrounding environment to be promoted, because here in Egypt we have huge amount of solar energy with very limited commercial applications. This was the area of the research I started with.
اوكي طيب ايه اللي حضرتك اتعلمته من اول research experience؟
Just one thing: how to think, and challenging to find a solution. And even I remember when I was in States, I have a lot of challenges to develop a mechanism to generate two-phase flow. I spent about 6 to 7 months without any taraddud to came up with this device. And at the end of the day, I was successful to come up with this device. The main idea behind research is to think and try to address a problem and find a solution to this problem. If you do that, then you are a good researcher. Research is not only to investigate these parameters over this parameter. In the research means, identifying a problem in the in the surrounding environment, in the neighborhoods, and try to find a solution to address this problem and investigate how to solve this problem in a research scale and maybe in the future in a commercial scale.
اوكي طيب حضرتك كلمتنا عن ال current research work waste management و sustainable development، وحضرتك برضه كلمتنا عن ال renewable energy applications وال green buildings وال green communities. هل في specific projects حضرتك شغال عليها الفترة دي؟
Yes, green communities. Green communities, there is something which I started almost about 6 years ago, something called net zero concept. Net zero concept where, if you want to design a system, you have to design a system according to this net zero concept. I started this, I wrote a book. I wrote a book in 2015 called The Next Global Industrial Revolution for this specific initiative, which is net zero. And therefore, I try to take the net zero from the global perspectives in terms of net zero water, net zero energy, net zero emission, net zero pollution, net zero waste. And I have a lot of students working with me under a master's degree or a PhD degree toward this net zero concept. I always try to develop a research topic for the capstone project, which is the graduation project 490 and 491. Therefore, they do some kind of a research and implementation of subtopics. And I have, for example, some groups right now, they are developing some kind of pesticides from nature, which is, again, we are not developing something brand new in the world. It is brand new in Egypt, but it is implemented somewhere else, implemented in China, in India, in United States, in Europe, but we try somehow to initiate it here in Egypt.
طيب هو لو في حد مثلا undergraduate student ولسه ما وصلش للgraduation project، يعني لسه مثلا junior او sophomore، وعايز مثلا يطور نفسه في الريسيرش او عايز ياخد الاكسبيرينس ريسيرش.
Sure. I don't have. He can join. He can join in any of my programs. He can join any of my programs. I don't have any problem with that.
طيب in this case هل في qualities او capabilities معينة حضرتك بتدور عليها في الستودنت ده؟
Again, I am responsible to teach him how to do the research.
Okay.
Now, quality, I care about one thing: commitment. That's all I care about. Commitment is the key issue.
Okay.
ولكن in terms of how to do research, this is my part of my business.
طيب ايه يعني exactly اللي هيتعلمه ال undergraduate student من ان هو ياخد experience in research؟
One thing, how to think. أهم حاجة إنك تعرف إزاي تفكر. عارف أنت لو عرفت إزاي تفكر خلاص. وإزاي تفكر بتبدأ من مرحلة واحدة. Identify the problem. وإيه الإمباكت of the problem on the community. طب السؤال هنا, what do you mean by the word engineer؟ مش انتوا sophomore؟ لا, شفت بقى؟ Engineer is a Latin word consists of two parts. Engineer means to create, and therefore engineering means creativity. And you have to be creative in thinking. You have to be creative in developing any piece of work. That's all. If you understand what do you mean by engineer, هتبقى engineer. If not, هتبقى routine engineer اللي احنا بنسميه technologist. افتكرتوا كلمة technologist في ال1-1؟ ها؟ لا. There is a big difference between engineer, technologist, technician and craftsman. أنا بركز على حاجة واحدة. How to think. و how to be an engineer. ازاي تبقى engineer؟ معناه ازاي تبقى creative. In developing assignments, in developing projects, in solving a problem. هي ده key issue behind engineering. لو ما قدرتش تعمل كده هتبقى زي ساعات الناس بتسمي field engineer أو sales engineer.
طيب دكتور فاينلي كده احنا عايزين مسج من حضرتك to all Minji students. general advice للأكاديميكس لايف عموما, motivation ان هم ينجيجوا في الريسيرش.
حاجة واحدة, فكر, try to think, try to be committed, don't waste your time of something irrelevant, but try to save your minutes and seconds for something beneficial to you and to the surrounding community. Before you sleep, try to evaluate or assess your inputs and outputs during the day. انت استفدت النهارده وافدت مين النهارده؟ هل استطعت انك تفيد المجتمع؟ هل قدرت تعمل حاجه كويسه للمجتمع؟ لو حسيت انك انت فعلا استفدت وافدت والاتنين بالزم مع بعض, ممكن تخش تنام. لو حسيت انك انت ما قدرتش تفيد حد, حاول ما تنامش غير لما تحط خطة ازاي تفيد الاخرين. و try to be engineer. يعني try to be creative. If you will not be creative, then you will be technologist. Technology doesn't mean it's another category. لا. Technologist معناها مهندس عملي. He is the one knows about the machines, knows about the materials, knows about the hand-on experience. They are complementing each other. Engineer without technologist equal to zero. Engineer with a technologist equal to a lot, and this a lot can be maximized by a good technician.